skill, persistence, determination, conviction, dedication. To endure, to overcome, to succeed, to provide. Well, hello again, and welcome to Bear Season 2012. I'm Cory Merriman, and I'll be your host on this adventure. Now, as you may recall, I've moved to an all-new baiting location here in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Now, my season this year actually started this spring. I spent a lot of time on the computer searching out possible bait locations, looking for good public land access, trying to find the old logging roads, the cedar swamps, the beaver ponds, the places that could potentially hold good numbers of bear. Now, we can start baiting here in Michigan on August 10th, so when the 10th rolled around, I couldn't wait to get out.
Alright, so I've just driven the four-wheeler back in here about 3/4 of a mile. Parked it, walked through 300 yards of beaver pond, the edge of a beaver pond. Got back in here another couple hundred yards to my first bait. That one's looking good, been hit 3 nights in a row. Now I'm headed down the trail another half a mile to my other bait that I have back here.
You know, walking up on a bait site that's been visited by bears is kind of like running a trap line. If you've ever run traps, you know what I'm talking about. Walking up there and seeing that all your hard work is finally paying off. Because really all the success you find during the season comes from all the time you put in pre-season. I've never baited a spot that's been more consistent or have more bears visiting on a regular basis than Kevin Conlon of Bowhunter Planets. Now, Kevin has access to private property just down the road from me, and I was happy to keep it baited for him until he could make it up for his hunt. So we made up a bait and Kevin showed me where he wanted to hunt. We established this bait for the first time, and he took his tree stand out there later that evening, came back and told me that a bear had already visited his bait site. Well, with all the sign and with all those trail camera pictures, it was pretty obvious he was in the right spot. I even went out there and sat with my wife one evening in the old gun blind just to get a little pre-season bear video. And this ended up being one of the most memorable encounters I've ever had in the woods when we came face to face with one of these northern Michigan giants. Bear season, it's here again. 5 weeks of running baits. It's all come down to this. It's time to hunt. Well, opening day was finally here and so were my guests. We got all our baits run, made a few last minute adjustments. The afternoon came fast and it was time to go sit. So I had already decided that I was going to set up on a spot that would come to be known as the Ridge Bait, a spot with a very commanding view over a secluded river bottom. So I snuck back into my spot and I found that my bait had already been hit. So with much anticipation, I settled into my spot. After only 20 minutes, I saw black moving through the woods and coming toward my bait. So I ended up watching that bear for over an hour and letting him walk. I knew that he was right at the minimum size level, and being the first few minutes of the first day, I wasn't ready to use my tag yet. First night of bear season just got done. I saw a little bear tonight. Got back, got a text message from Chad that his father-in-law Tom shot a nice bear. back here across the beaver pond. Sweet.
What do you think, Cory?
Nice. So that was that early shot you heard, huh?
Yeah, it was. The radio wasn't working, so he didn't radio me, but man, I knew it was coming from his direction. Because it was away from me, and that's, you know, he was shooting away from us.
I never did this before in a bear.
2012 hunt. Yeah, we did great, man. He was a beautiful bear.
Nice, respectable bear.
Yeah, he was a beautiful bear.
Go stand in front of it and tell us what happened.
I can't hold that cloth. Yeah. That was a pretty good deal. You're not going to work much harder than that for a bear. I'll tell you, back in there going through a beaver dam swamp area. But I don't know, about 7 o'clock, he just popped up down near the feed. Then he turned right away and went away from the feed and started sneaking around downwind of the feed and me. And I had the gun up, the safety off, and kept getting glimpses of him. He went about 50, 60 yards downwind of me, and I thought, he's gonna win me, he's gonna win me. And I thought, uh-oh. He turned and come back and eased over near the feed, and then he disappeared on me. And I thought, uh-oh. And I right then I was shaking because the adrenaline had been running for a bit, for about 5 minutes watching him. Then he turned and came in, popped out on the north side, went around the tree, and went around the east side of the logs. And by then I got settled down and had the old scope up and crosshairs on him, but he was straight on to me, and he come right out in front of the logs. And I thought, well, I ain't gonna give him a chance to get spooked or anything. And he was quartered at me with a front shot, and I thought, boy, I better take what I got. And I took him on the point of the left front shoulder, right up high, right here. Perfect shot. And
Did you say so yourself?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was right where I was aiming, believe that one or not, you know, after all the excitement. But I plugged him really hard, and
How far did he go?
he come charging out of there right toward me, a little bit on an angle, and I had to rack this. By the time I got done racking that second shell, and that didn't take long, but rack like that, I seen him disappear, and I thought, what happened? Where'd he go? Yeah, because they move so fast. Yeah, he didn't go 15 yards from where I shot him. He piled up. And I thought, where'd he go? I couldn't see him. I stood up and looked around, couldn't see him, and there was just a knob and a tree in the way. And I thought, well, I started digging in my pocket. Matter of fact, the shells are still in my pocket. So I better put another shell in the gun. I have to be full. I put another shell in the gun, and I started sneaking around, and I got about halfway down to where I see him disappear. There he was dead right there, just piled right up. Pulled a perfect shot of him. And boy, I'm telling you, I mean, he looks a little smaller here, but boy, when they're on the ground that size, they look big. I'll tell you, they look a lot bigger than what they really seem. He's really something.
I'd say make a snowmobile suit out of them.
Halloween costume. So later that evening I had the opportunity to sit down and review my bear footage, and I kind of started to regret not taking that bear. You know, taking a bear up here isn't an easy task, and I learned to accept a long time ago that not every bear is going to be a 500 pounder, not every whitetail is going to be a booner, and not every fish is going to be a record breaker. And if I set my expectations too high, I might go without, and we depend on that freezer full of meat every year. And I decided that if I were to see that bear again, I was going to go ahead and take him. Oh, that was quick. I've only been here about 20 minutes. I actually brought a bait out with me and snuck down to the bottom of the hill and set that bait. Climbed up here, got all my stuff together. I wasn't here 15-20 minutes. He's done for. He didn't go 20 yards. I actually saw that bear the other night when I had a crossbow, and I was wishing I would have taken the shot the other night. I kind of regretted it, but that's all right. I brought my muzzle loader. Pouring rain all day long. I wasn't even going to come out. I couldn't get away until I couldn't even get out here until 5:30. I got set up at 5:30 and it didn't take long. He's not a real big bear, but that's all right. I filled my tag.
started whacking away here, got the stakes. Still trimming up a little hamburg here and there, about ready to cut the head off and take it in and add the two-fold out of it. Got a lot of hamburg here, mixed a little pork with it.
So I always thought that was kind of neat. You come by an area and it's like, how they leave one tree for, you know? Or
So my hunt was over, and now it's time to trade in the gun and pick up the camera. So whatever happened to Kevin Conlon's bait? Well, the week before the season began, people started coming out of the woodwork. There were bear hunters to the north and across the road. New baits were starting to pop up. There were squirrel hunters over on the other property line, and they were also target shooting during the day. He was surrounded by pressure, and the bears became nocturnal, literally the day before Kevin's season began. Dave Thomas of Bowhunter Planet even came up to video Kevin on his hunt. But after day 2, we came to the realization that the bears had left the area just as quickly as they had appeared. So I had a chance to sit on that bait one last time with Kevin. We had a coyote sneak in, but there were no bears in sight. So the next morning we went and checked the trail camera pictures and found the bait that we should have been sitting on. This one had a nice bear come in just after 4 and just after 6. Kevin ended up moving to this spot, but not seeing this bear come back. Then it started raining. For nearly the next 6 days, Kevin endured the wind, the rain, and the sleet, but still no bear sightings. That is, until the last few minutes of the last day of his hunt. We went across the beaver pond to where Tom had shot his 240-pound bear on that first night, the only other night that bait had been sat on. Right there, 2 cubs. Yeah, that sow just passed behind the bait. So Matt and Jeremy came up again this year, and this time they brought Brad along for his first ever bear hunt. That first night I ended up taking Matt out with me and stuck Brad over 3/4 of a mile away to where I had shot my bear on the ridge bait. Just freeze a second. So just before 7 o'clock, Matt and I heard a shot ring out. We knew it was Brad. He sent us a text message a few minutes later saying that he had just dropped his first bear, the last bear in camp for our 2012 season. He's down. He's down. He's down. Brad just said he's down. All right, we had Brad here come up yesterday. Successful first-time bear hunter, first time ever in the woods. Got a little taste of the baiting this morning and came out here to the ridge bait where I shot my bear. What happened?
Well, about 6:45, I believe it was, around there. We came in from the right, walked up to the bait pile, circled it, grabbed something off it, walked back about 15 yards away and ate whatever it was, Twinkie or something.
Yeah.
And then it came back and circled it again and gave me a perfect broadside shot, so I took it.
Yeah.
It'll do for the...
Well, yeah, we were talking earlier about trying to judge bears, and I said if there was any doubt, watch them for 15-20 minutes. And
I was
just to be
watching
sure.
for about 15 minutes.
There's a little bit of doubt. So. Cool. Congratulations.
Thanks. I'm excited.
Bear Slayer, is that you?
That's me. I'm getting them today.
You ever seen a bear?
Not yet.
I had a chance to sit with Kevin. Get out of here. Jeez. Get out of here. Come on. Come on. Go. Go. Come on. Go. Go. Eat you for dinner.